So I recently just retired from shooting weddings with Kevin, and y'all know I've been doing that for a good 6-7 years or something like that, and I gotta tell you, it feels really good. Literally, it's like losing 30 pounds. But seriously guys, it was just really physically demanding, and you know what? I didn't love it, and there were a couple things that I want to share with you guys as to the lessons that I learned, and three major things that I learned from shooting weddings. And I'm really happy to say goodbye to it. At the same time, as I look back on those years, there were a number of lessons, but I think these three really sum it up. You don't necessarily have to stick with what you're good at. So yes, I became good at shooting, and I became good at doing my role over there at Kevin Levu Photography, and I could very well go out on my own and monetize it and do more with it, and I probably will. I mean, photography is a skill that I'm not going to just let go and fall to the ground. It's a skill that I covet very highly, but I didn't have to stick with it. And when the moment that I realized that, it was like unchaining myself, okay? Because the moment you think you have to stick with something and that you're obligated, and sure, there is honor and integrity and ethics when, you're obligated to certain things like your family, but when you feel obligated to an occupation or to a thing or to your work, in a way, it can be very unhealthy for you because you, again, repeat these patterns of settling. Okay, so the moment I realized that I didn't have to settle for being a photographer and doing this role that I had been doing for us and in our partnership, the moment I could let that go, which was some time ago, I felt a sort of chain break. So through the last couple of years, I've been just unlinking all of these chains that I thought I was, bound to. And so making that transition, that's what we've been doing all this year. And finally, we have kind of unlinked the last chain, and it feels really, really good. So secondly, your desire for happiness must be stronger than your tendency to doubt yourself. So there were so many times that I doubted, that I was even up to snuff to even do what I'm doing now, that what I'm doing for the company and what I'm doing for myself. I doubted all of that, and there was never a time when I didn't doubt, where I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I'm just trying to do it, but I love it. And that is what kept me going. My desire for the life that I really wanted was stronger than my doubt. I still have doubt. I still have fear. I still have all of that stuff. I still feel that all the time. I still think that maybe sometimes Kevin just doesn't get it, right? I have those tendencies, but my desire to have a life where he does get it, and I am doing work that I love, is way stronger. Sometimes it's just a smidge stronger, and sometimes it's not strong. But for the most part, for my track record, it has been stronger. And I think doing that pattern more and more and more and again and over again will just create more tendency to just strive for the happiness, for the life that I really want, instead of indulging my fears and my doubts. And lastly, taking what you want from life, it's one thing to ask for something, right? You do have to ask for the life that you really want and you really deserve. You have to say, can I have that? And then you have to say to yourself, yes, you can. It's one thing to ask, it's another thing to take it, to take action, to execute. So first in the mind, I had to say, can I have that? Can I not shoot? And when it was okay with me, and when it was okay with Kevin, and when, I had to make him say it was okay. I had to make him understand that it was okay for me not to shoot. I had to execute upon that. It's like, well, if you're not going to shoot, what are you going to do? And I was like, good question. I had to find my role. I had to create my role. I had to find what I was good at and enjoyed and loved and fit that into our brand, into our business, so that I didn't become obsolete after, not wanting to shoot anymore. And that was a big kind of thing that we had to kind of go through. I had to kind of go through. And it required a lot of patience and strategy and a level head. I couldn't burn bridges. I couldn't just tell Kevin, I don't want to shoot anymore. Find somebody else. I couldn't do that, right? If I really wanted the life that I wanted, which was, Kevin's good, I'm good, the company's good. I had to strategically do these things with a level head so that I could get there. And you know what? It wasn't always like I planned everything out from A to Z. No. It was more like, here's my greater goal. This life that I want, this working style that I want with Kevin here and me here and the business here. How is that going to work? If I burn bridges, if I don't do this the right way, I'm not going to get that. So it's always a weird kind of, it's strategy. I'm always thinking about that, the greater goal, the overarching goal. But, you know, the path is not this way. It's not this straight and narrow path. It's kind of like this, and then it's kind of like this, and then it's kind of like this, and it's kind of like this, and then it's kind of like this. So it's okay. It's okay that you're not following all the steps and you're not hitting, you know, all the steps and all the moves along the way perfectly. It's that you remember this greater goal, the life that you really want and deserve, and you know you deserve it. That kind of guides you. And that is a strategy I'm talking about. It's kind of a loose strategy, but I guess, you know, it's better than nothing. It's better than just going with the flow and letting whatever take you, like I did so many years ago. So it feels really good to retire, guys. Does it mean I'm putting down the camera forever? Of course not. Of course not. My production company, Clean Media Productions, that handles, you know, personal branding and things like that, I've got to bring out the camera. Like, I do headshots, all that stuff. I'll still be coming out to special destination weddings where Kevin and I make a vacay out of it. Like this February, we're going to Maui, so I will be shooting again. So, but for the most part, the normal routine of me and Kevin shooting every weekend together, that is no longer the case. And I'm really happy to say that John, our assistant turned second shooter, turned now primary second shooter, is taking my place. I'm so proud of him, and I'm just happy that we're getting to that point in our business and in our lives where we're all on the same page. You know, when you have that clarity, that's just so powerful. When you have clarity, we spend a lot of our youth being very confused. And so I encourage anybody who's younger or still confused to work towards the idea of clarity and being on the same page. And how you be clear, because I'm now listening to Tony Robbins on my next audio book, because I don't read, is about clarity. And how you get to clarity is by making certain decisions, by being decisive. And that's just really powerful. So be mindful of the decisions that you're making so that you can find that clarity. When you have clarity, you have power. And when you have power, you can have the life that you really want. So that's all I have to say on that, guys. It is Revelation Wednesday. I haven't made a video like this in a long ass time. I'm sorry, I've been busy, wedding planning, all that stuff. Also holidays, but yeah. So this video was a little long, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.